After 200 years of British rule over the Indian subcontinent, on August 15, 1947, it was split into two independent nations, Hindu-majority India and Muslim-majority Pakistan. The process was known as partition. Most people wanted independence, but what came after that was tragic. Some 17 million people were displaced, and an estimated 1 million were killed. Prior to colonization, the subcontinent was made up of princely states where many religions coexisted. Hindus were the majority, and Muslims were the largest minority. Historians say the British implemented a strategy known as divide and rule, promoting political divisions between followers of the region's main religions. But a freedom movement, mainly led by the Indian National Congress Party, saw members of these communities come together to resist British rule. Led by Mahatma Gandhi and others, the largely non-violent campaign forced the British to act, and the UK announced its plans to quit the vast nation after the Second World War. But that ignited fears about who would govern next. Making up 25% of the population, Muslims were worried about being a minority in a Hindu-majority country. Under imperial rule, they were protected and represented in a specialized system. So, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, leader of the Muslim League, advocated for Muslims to have their own homeland, Pakistan. A section of Hindus also campaigned for an ethnic Hindu state. Divisions between the two groups deepened. Riots erupted in many places, in which thousands were killed. In 1946, Lord Louis Mountbatten, the new British viceroy to India, started talks with the Congress parties Jawaharlal Nehru and Jinnah. Mountbatten convinced the leaders to agree to the partition, creating two new states. Cyril Radcliffe, a British lawyer who had never been to India, was tasked with drawing up the borders. He was given just 36 days to put together the partition project. Using outdated maps and census records, his committee came up with this: India, West Pakistan, and East Pakistan, which would later become Bangladesh. But they didn't assign Muslim-majority Kashmir to either country. This will cause problems later. As the British left in 1947, chaos erupted. Millions of Muslims, Hindus, and Sikhs suddenly found themselves on the wrong side of the border. They had to leave their ancestral homes, with millions of families separated until this day. The exodus of people triggered unprecedented violence, with mobs killing an estimated 1 million people and raping and abducting up to 100,000 women. What was supposed to be a celebration of independence from British rule turned into a bloody and brutal chapter in the history of the two countries. 75 years later, India and Pakistan remain bitter rivals, still disputing over their borders. There have been 3 wars over the Himalayan territory of Kashmir, which both countries claim as their own. On the Indian side, security forces are fighting rebels opposed to Indian rule. Meanwhile, India's Muslims are regularly subjected to attacks by Hindu groups, emboldened by the nationalist BJP government in power since 2014. The legacy of partition is complex and still felt in South Asia today.